When you were in school, your parents, guardians, or teacher made the majority of the decisions about your life and supports. Now that you're an adult, you are expected to be a larger participant in that process. This is called being your own advocate. Sometimes this will involve navigating tricky situations at work. You have to go to a meeting that's not an accessible location. How would you navigate that situation?
I would talk to whoever set the meeting up to just see if I can have someone else go for me, or if it could be in a more accessible location.
My disability involves issues with understanding language in large group settings when there are multiple speakers, and that's something that I've been sort of navigating and trying to work on finding a solution for. But the first step was going and talking to my supervisor or one of the other people that was in the office and trying to explain like what my problem was and then work with them to find a solution.
You are offered a job in the next town over and can't drive. How do you figure out ways to get there?
Well, if it was a job that I know I really liked, it was going to be there for a while. I'd look into maybe moving, getting an apartment closer to the building to see if I could either wheel or walk to work in the mornings and go home after that. Or possible public transportation, either from a close apartment or from where I'm living now, depending how far it is. That or carpooling, seeing if there's someone that lives in my town that works in the same area and have the same schedule and just carpool.
Well, I myself do drive. However, I know that there are public transportation options, but there are also if you don't have the ability to access the bus routes or for some reason, there are special transportation agencies that work directly with people with disabilities and can, in some cases, pick you up directly at your home and bring you to where you need to go.
You are interviewing for a job and the interviewer asks if you got special education in school. How do you respond?
I mean, I didn't, so me personally, I would say I did not, but I don't think they're technically allowed to ask that question, so it would be kind of, maybe like a red flag if they did.
I would politely decline to answer because under the Americans with Disability Act, I am protected from questions of that nature. But I would also take that opportunity to perhaps talk about an accomplishment that I had in high school and sort of redirect the conversation back to my strengths instead of being sort of evasive with the question.
You hear that someone with the same job as you got a raise and you didn't. What do you do?
I mean, if it's someone that, you know, has been working there as long as I have and it's the same exact job, I would go to my supervisor and just ask, like, hey, why did Jimmy get a raise and I didn't? And, you know, it might be that he does better work and that he's looking to go higher up on the ladder. That's fine, but if it's just because he asked and I didn't, then I would definitely raise that and see if I could get a raise as well.
I would try to think about the situation and determine whether or not maybe that person was hired before me, so they might be due for a raise sooner. But if I feel like we are both performing the same activities and we were hired at the same time, then I would definitely want to go to my supervisor and have a conversation about why that decision was made.
To learn more on how to advocate for yourself, contact the Vermont Center for Independent Living at 1-800-639-1522.